True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report.
Our World Series title defense has just suffered a devastating blow. A key piece of our team, who everyone was expecting back, is likely done for the year. The news is brutal, and it changes everything for the postseason. If you want every detail on what this means for the team right now, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this crucial breakdown. Welcome back to True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report. I'm your host, bringing you the hottest information and the most in-depth analysis straight from the inside at Chavez Ravine. My mission here is simple: to cut through the noise and deliver you the truth about our team with the precision and detail you deserve. Before we get into today's top story, which I'll be honest is a tough pill to swallow, I want to ask you for something. If you value this direct approach, if you want insights that go beyond the surface level headlines, and if you consider yourself part of the True Blue crew, then please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It's the best way to ensure you get these updates firsthand. Join our community so you don't miss a thing. Let's get straight to it. The news that has been circulating in the halls of Dodger Stadium, and which I can now confirm with more detail, is devastating for our bullpen and for the heart of this fan base. The chances of seeing on a mound this 2025 season are now considered minimal, almost zero. The update we've received is, to use the exact word, brutal. Let's break down what this means, how we got here, and the cascading impact this prolonged absence will have on our title aspirations. To understand the gravity of the situation, we need to rewind a bit. The last image we have of Graterol in action is a bittersweet one. It was Game 5 of the 2024 World Series against the New York Yankees. That was a moment of maximum tension. He took the mound in the 6th inning, and it was clear something wasn't right. He faced 5 batters and issued 3 walks. For a command pitcher like him, known for forcing weak contact, that was a deafening red flag. Of course, we won the game, we won the World Series, and the bazooka got his ring. The celebration and the parade masked the concern that already existed internally, but the truth is, he was pitching through pain, gutting it out through a significant injury to help us cross the finish line. Shortly after the season, the news broke of surgery to repair the labrum in his right shoulder. For those unfamiliar with a pitcher's physiology, this is one of the most feared injuries. The labrum is a ring of cartilage that helps stabilize the shoulder joint. A tear there, especially in the throwing arm of an athlete who throws over 100 miles per hour, is a complex procedure with a notoriously long and unpredictable recovery timeline. From the outset, the Dodgers organization knew 2025 would be a challenge. The optimistic projection, which I myself reported on earlier in the year, was a potential return after the All-Star break. He was placed on the 60-day injured list in March, a procedural move, but one that already signaled the seriousness of the issue. Graterol reported to our training complex at Camelback Ranch in Arizona to begin the rehab process. The initial updates were cautiously optimistic. He was working on strength, on range of motion, hitting all the protocols. However, the most crucial step, being cleared to begin a throwing program, never came, and this is where the news takes a dark turn. On Wednesday, manager Dave Roberts, speaking with reporters in Anaheim, shifted his tone from hopeful to one of harsh realism. He confirmed that Graterol has still not been cleared to even begin throwing. We are in the middle of August. The clock is ticking, and for a pitcher to ramp up for high-intensity MLB games, time is running out fast. Roberts' exact words were, "I think there's a small chance he could return in September. It's a possibility he doesn't come back." He was emphatic that this pessimism isn't the result of a new setback or a re-injury, but rather the simple, cruel math of the calendar. Even if Graterol were cleared to throw tomorrow, he would need weeks to build up intensity, face live batters, make rehab appearances in the minor leagues. The runway to get ready for the postseason is long, and the runway has simply run out. The impact of this on our bullpen cannot be overstated. Brusdar Graterol isn't just another arm in the pen, he's a force of nature. At 30 years old, he has compiled a 2.69 ERA in 178 games in a Dodgers uniform. He is our go-to ground ball weapon in bases-loaded situations, the man who comes in with his heavy sinker to put out fires. His absence is felt on a deep statistical level. The Dodgers bullpen this season has a 4.22 ERA, which ranks us 20th across all of MLB. For a title contending team, that is unacceptable. We are the team that has used this bullpen the most in terms of innings pitched, 516.2, partly due to the opener strategy, but this also exposes the lack of depth and the inconsistency we've been dealing with. Losing the potential return of our best setup man is a direct blow to what was already a weak spot. Roberts even mentioned that if Graterol were healthy, it would be easy to bet on him even without a long ramp-up given his track record in big games. But the health just isn't there. Looking at the situation from a more strategic perspective, Dave Roberts' statement, while disheartening, is also a clear message from the front office led by Andrew Friedman. They are signaling both to the team and to the rest of the league that they are not counting on Graterol's return. This drastically changes the calculus for the remainder of the season, and more crucially for the decisions that will be made in the coming weeks. Friedman's philosophy has always been to build depth to mitigate injury risk, but losing an elite talent like Graterol tests the limits of that philosophy. The plan, as Friedman stated, is to continue the rehab process in the hopes of a miracle. But hope is not a strategy for winning a World Series. The reality is that the bullpen, which already lacks significant postseason experience in key spots, now loses the chance to reintegrate a battle-tested veteran. Think about the names we have out there. Evan Phillips has been solid as our closer, but other arms like Alex Vesia and Blake Trinan have had their ups and downs. The reliance on younger pitchers or veterans trying to find their form again has been an emotional roller coaster for us fans. Graterol was seen as the great equalizer, the internal reinforcement who would arrive in the second half to stabilize the unit and give us a reliable bridge to Phillips in the ninth. Now that bridge has collapsed before it could even be rebuilt. And this leads us to the most pressing question. What will the Dodgers do next? With a trade deadline looming, the need to acquire a high-impact relief pitcher has shifted from a desirable luxury to an absolute necessity. Andrew Friedman and his team must now scour the market for a dependable arm for high-leverage situations. This means potentially parting with valuable prospects for a player who might be a short-term rental or someone with more contract control. The news about Graterol drives up the price we'll have to pay. As other teams know our desperation, we are in a weaker negotiating position than we were a week ago. The impact extends beyond the mound. Graterol's absence affects morale. He is a vibrant presence in the clubhouse, a fierce competitor whose energy is infectious. To see him fight so hard to come back, only for the clock to run out, is a blow to his teammates who are counting on his return. For us, the Blue Crew, it's just as frustrating. Remember last year when shoulder injuries had already limited him to just 7 regular season games. He battled back in time for the postseason and gave us crucial scoreless innings in games 1 and 3 of the World Series. That resilience is what makes him a fan favorite. To know that we might have to wait until 2026 to see that passion on the mound again is simply disheartening. The small chance of a September return that Roberts mentioned feels more like a formality than a real possibility. It's a way of not closing the door completely, of keeping the player motivated. But practically speaking, the organization is operating under the assumption that number 48 will not be part of our title defense plans. The priority now is twofold. First, to ensure that Brusdar's rehab is done correctly, without rushing, with his long-term health and his contribution to the 2026 season in mind. And second, and more urgently, find an external solution to fill the gaping void his absence creates in the heart of our bullpen. So, to summarize, the headline news is that Brusdar Graterol will very likely not pitch for the Dodgers in 2025. The recovery from his complex shoulder surgery has not progressed quickly enough to allow for a viable return, forcing the team to plan the rest of the season without their elite setup man. Now, I want to hear directly from you, Dodger Nation. With Graterol effectively out of the picture, what move do you think Andrew Friedman needs to make? Should we go all in and pay the high price for a top-tier reliever on the trade market, or do you believe we have internal pieces that can be adapted to fill this gap? Who would be your ideal target? Leave your opinions, your trade targets, and your strategies in the comments below. I want to see what our intelligent fan base is thinking. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this in-depth analysis helpful. And most importantly, subscribe to True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report, for more rapid updates and analysis that gets straight to the point. I'm always watching, always digging to bring you the story behind the story. Stay tuned and I'll see you next time.